Hi guys, it's me, Jeff, and I'm with
Mayor Sean Krausert.
Mayor Sean Krausert. Yes, and here we are in the command center where it all happens. Now, big things are coming down this May, June, and it's going to affect everyone that lives in Canmore. Sean, what is it?
It's paid parking.
Paid parking.
Yeah, paid parking. We've had paid parking up Quarry Lake starting last year. Banff started paid parking in their downtown last year as well. Mm-hmm. We're fortunate that we get to incorporate their lessons learned, or the lessons learned from those experiences as we implement it in the downtown area starting this May or June.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of citizens, they're like, hey, why paid parking? Why paid parking now? And you want to talk a bit to some of those points to help explain why?
Yeah, well, you know, we don't have the luxury of widening roads or building more roads in the downtown area. A parkade is something that often comes to people's minds, but A, they're very expensive. B, they just tend to attract more vehicles, and then you have a bigger problem just a short time down the road. So paid parking is really about designating those areas that are most highly used and making sure they're used efficiently. People aren't sticking around all the time, as well as making sure that there's a variety of options available to those who pay, or if you're a resident, there's resident parking, and if you don't want to do either, there's some free parking not too far away.
For sure. Like I do know, as someone that has a business in the tourist industry, sometimes I do hear feedback from people coming to town, and they're like, we just can't find parking, we're just looping around. So hopefully paid parking, prioritizes, makes things work a little bit better. Now, there's a really important website you guys have to go to, and it's canmore.ca/parking. We'll throw it up on the screen. And at one point, Sean, you were talking about there's various options and zones. If you go to that site, you'll see some important maps, one for the downtown core and one for Quarry Lake. Sean, can you elaborate more on what these zones we're referring to?
Yeah, so you'll see the maps have three colors on them. Green is paid parking areas, okay? And if you're registered as a resident with a resident parking pass, you can get up to 3 hours free in those lots combined on a daily basis.
So there's a paid zone, and you have a Canmore resident pass. You can park in that paid zone for free for 3 hours.
For up to 3 hours every day.
Great.
Then there's a pink zone, and that's your resident parking zone. Now, if you have the resident parking pass, you can park in the pink zone all day long.
For sure.
Okay, and any resident can do that. It's not just if you're a resident on that street. If you're a resident coming down, you have the pass, you can park in the pink zone. Now, there's going to be some people that come and they don't have a resident pass, they don't want to pay parking. There's blue zones. Those blue zones are less than a 10-minute walk, like 5 to 10 minute walk from the downtown area, and you'll be able to get where you need to go without paying.
Okay, so there's options. And then there's stuff that if it's not a color that's designated, anyone can park there. Great. And so I think, so we're talking May/June coming in. Really, we encourage you, go to canmore.ca/parking and register yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Register starting right now at this website address.
Go there.
And get your parking pass, so you're all set up for when the parking starts. And we're going to have videos about use of the app that makes it really easy. Right from your driver's seat, you can just punch in, and we'll be talking a little bit talking about change.
Yeah, for sure. Well, change is interesting because one thing I've seen as we've gone through these first couple of months of council is like any sort of change is uncomfortable. What are your thoughts on change there?
Yeah, I mean, change causes people to have to get out of their normal ways of doing things, find new ways of doing things. There's some fears, there's frustrations, there's anger associated with that, but eventually it becomes a new pattern. Yeah. And all of us have to. I'm going to have to figure out if I'm going to be driving or biking or taking transit, because I work downtown, and see which one can work best for me.
For sure, because I'll be looking at my habits as well and having to tweak them. But the world's changing, and we have some climate challenges coming up. We have some congestion challenges, and I feel this paid parking thing is meant to make things better. Yeah. So.
Well, and just for example, if you work downtown too at a late shift, let's say you arrive at 5 o'clock, you get those first 3 hours free. Paid parking ends then at 8, and you can park the rest of the time after that. So everyone will find their way.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, sir. And we'll see you guys more.
See ya.
Cheers.